Hello again, Privileged Ones, and welcome back to Draw with VPG. I'm your host, VPG, or Violent Privilege Gaming, from my main channel. I'll link my main channel down in the description. So I'm normally a gaming YouTuber, and most of the stuff that we create on this channel is going to be based around video games. So the drawings, concept arts, or paintings are going to normally be gaming related. But today we've got something a little different. For all the girls out there, we're going to be doing a little cartoon drawing of a cute little bunny rabbit that we're going to name Stuart. Now, Stuart is going to be a really good kind of medium to go with on reviewing the Bianyo marker. So Bianyo creates an alcoholic marker just like Copic. Now, if you don't know what a Copic is, Copics are drawing markers, and they're quite expensive. So we went on Amazon, we purchased the Bianyo marker, and we're going to test it in similarity to previous markers I've used in the past, which most of them, let's be honest, were Copic. Since Copic are quite expensive, I'd like to do a review on a marker that's a little less expensive. So for anybody out there that thinks about drawing with markers, is it really worth buying? So Bianyo, the company, has been around since 1860. They create alcoholic-based ink markers. So instead of water-based, they're alcoholic, which I would not recommend drinking the ink. It's probably not safe for you. Even though it will make you drunk, don't do it. So we've got some really pretty colors. And we also have colors ranging from the really light opaque grays, almost transparent, all the way up to the really dark black. And then every color in between, like the really nice blues, really nice reds. And we're going to be using a little bit of the blues, a little bit of the reds, and a bunch of grays to see if we can get some blending going. And we're going to create Stuart. So this review is an unbiased review. I'm not sponsored by Bianyo or Copic or any of the markers in between, but I'd like to give you guys a rough idea of whether or not it's useful to know that do you have to buy Copic or do you have to buy something cheaper. Some people don't have this $600 to spend on Copic markers, so I'd like to give you guys an idea of something else that is worth purchasing. So let's get into the review. So before any good review, you have to test out the supplies and materials. So we went and took a scratch piece of paper, tested out the blending of the alcoholic-based markers. From there we took an actual piece of marker paper, sketched up a mock-up of a cartoon bunny, which I felt was very simplistic, but it got the point across when we got to shading in the markers. Then the line work was done in an 8 fine liner. After that, we filled in the eyes with a black Sharpie to save some ink off of the alcoholic-based black markers that we ended up having, and actually used that for the shadowing of the rabbit. Alongside that, we used medium grays and dark grays to get all of the shadow tones on the rabbit done. Used some light gray tones to finish up the rabbit's fur. And then from there we went on to the pink nose, the pink ears, did a little bit of variation in color on the ear, just for a little bit of change in the pink tones in the ear itself. And then from there we went over to the blue bow. We used some light blues, turquoise blues, and some dark blues to finish up the bow. And then we signed the piece of paper, and it was basically done. It turned out really good. I could have changed a couple of things with that, and that's why I actually ended up making 2 pieces of the same artwork, which you'll see momentarily, but it was a really fun job, and the markers worked really well. So we are done. Now time to finalize this review. So you've seen me draw with them. They work really well on camera. So we ended up with this final image, and I found out that I did way too much blending on this image, so I made a second one, which ended up being this cute little guy. So Stuart, the rabbit, the cartoon rabbit, is really fun to draw for one, but this image really goes to show you how well the Bianyo markers work. Really nice light tones to medium to dark tones on this image, and compared to Copics, the #1 brand in the market, these alcoholic based markers from Bianyo work just as good, if not better. Now they do overblend, so be careful, don't push down on your markers too hard and overblend or oversaturate your paper, but if you do it just right, they do make for some really decent markers at a really nice price. Bianyo are 10 times cheaper than Copic's, so if you don't have the hundreds of dollars to spend on Copic markers, these ones are well in the budget and price range for any artist out there. So if you are looking for a good art set of markers to take to school with you, maybe you're in a high school drawing class, these markers will fit well into a student's budget. And they do have some bleeding, but the bleeding isn't too bad. It doesn't bleed enough to transfer over to the paper that's behind this piece of paper. So, all in all, really decent markers. I'll leave a link in the description so you guys can go and check it out. If this video helped you into finding a new alcoholic drawing marker set worth buying that's not overly priced, then leave a like on the video. Subscribe to this channel for future content, and as always, stay violent and be privileged.
Oh, hi. VPG isn't here right now, but I guess you enjoyed the content. So over there's a logo you can click on. That will allow you to subscribe. More content up there, and behind the scenes daily content over here on the vlog channel. There you go. Enjoy.